Get ready.
Put it in
The
well.
plot's thickening, people. Yes! That is a sweet fish.
Let some line out. Here's a coho.
All right. Look at that thing.
Everybody wants to grab a hold of the fish while it's flopping. Yeah. That's a good way to get hooked.
There's nothing like Alaska, man.
Yeah, it's just hurting. It's got hooked bad.
Okay, ready?
Hey.
Legal king.
All right. Yeah, just barely. There's a legal king.
Oh.
I got my first legal king. So it's my first king salmon. Thanks to John here.
It's 28¼ inches. It was bleeding bad, and I think it's a good fish, and you'll enjoy eating it, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm gonna.
It'll taste pretty good on the barbecue. All right. So, the most common question I get asked is, how fast do you troll? Well, there's a lot of reasons why I can't answer that without explaining myself. So, they want to know how fast you're going over ground. That's what your GPS tells you. So, if you are going with the wind and with the current, you're going to have to speed up to cause that drag, right? You're going to have to increase that friction against that flasher to make it roll over. If you're driving in a car,
Today, a beautiful day with ample sunshine returning, highs in the middle 70s.
and you got a 20-mile-an-hour wind coming at you, and you're going 20 miles an hour, you're going to put your hand out. That wind's going to tell you you're doing about 40 miles an hour with wind. And if you turn around and you're doing 20 miles an hour and you got a 20-mile-an-hour wind, it's going to feel like there's hardly any wind at all. That's the same thing with this gear. You've got to have the rhythm. Fishing silvers, you want a fast rhythm to your rod on a flat line. On a chum gear, you want to go nice and slow. So you want your flasher to kind of sway back and forth and then roll over and then sway back and forth. You're trying to adjust your speed all the time for the chum. The coho and the kings, you just got to get it to roll over. The coho like a lot faster rhythm, but I like flat lines for two reasons. One, it lets me judge my speed. You see the flashers, they got a nice little rhythm to them.
Yeah.
And that means they're rolling over completely. Two, actually there's three reasons. Two is the clients can let it out and it gets it right back in the water. Yep, 4 on, meth going on here. Grab your flasher, please. Let some line out. You don't reel into the tip. They're not waiting for me to set the downrigger down. As soon as I unhook the fish, I throw their gear in the water. They're stripping the line back out. It's right back in the fish, no delay. With the downriggers, they're waiting on me. I might be hooking up on a double, I might be doing something else, and I'm setting the downriggers. Even if they were setting them, there's still a big delay in getting the gear to the fish. The flat lines, you can get them right down. 3, I like to be able to spread the gear out. So I'll run 2 downrigger rods and 2 flat lines. This whole last 3 weeks, all the fish have been on top trying to find fresh water because we've had no rain and all the fresh water's at the top. So majority of the fish are up on top trying to find the river they need to go back to. And there's been lots of feed, so it's not been a problem having to get deep for them. So the last 3 weeks, I've ran nothing but 4 flat lines out the back. And I wanted to go over a little bit about how to rig a flat line and some of the positive things about it. You can get the gear in the water really fast. I don't like running deep sea divers, the deep sixes or any of the planer divers, because they cause so much pull. They get your bait down, but they cause so much pull that you do not see the action of your flasher. Okay? With the sinker method, yeah, it might be a little extra weight, but when I was fishing kings this year and even chum this year, I had to get down to them, and everything was kind of deep. So here is a 16-ounce cannonball rigged with a 3-way. Okay? And I like this method because it doesn't tangle up when you're running it. 2, I have a lot of tangles with new fishermen all the time on my charter boat.
Yeah, we jump first. You guys got to separate a little bit.
And I can get it untangled a lot easier than cutting line and retying. Another reason is I can change out the weight. If fish are really shallow and I want to spread them out a little bit, I'll go to a lighter sinker. If they're a little deeper and I don't want to stack my downriggers with 4 rods out the back, I'll run a heavier sinker. With those kings we were getting this spring in June, I had to get down. And so I went with 16 to 20 ounces sometimes to get those flatlines back a little bit and be able to judge my speed so I know the gear was turning over good. So I'm going to demonstrate how to set these up, and you'll see how simple it is. This has been a really productive way. My grandfather kind of taught this to me, and my uncle, and I've learned a lot of fishing from them, and I've tried to improve on my own just by picking up new tricks. But if you've already fished this, then it's good. You'll know what I'm talking about. But this is the 3-way swivel. I don't know if you can see it really good. It comes with 2 corkscrews on a split ring to a single swivel. Okay? So, the single swivel always goes to your main line. That goes to your pole. Doesn't matter which one of the corkscrews go on here, but I was going to show you is they come off real easy. Okay, if I want to swap to a lighter lead, just put them on there, twist it through. It is a phenomenal little gadget for quick rigging. Okay, so then I've got a 4-foot leader here, pretty close to 4 foot to my flasher. I'm just going to put that on there like so. And it sits just like that. Okay? And so if you can see a little more, I've got a 24 to 26 inch leader. This is one I was using for coho. And it's really fast and effective, guys. I mean, I think if you try it, you really enjoy it. I try to set these up for my rental boats and my clients because it makes it super easy for them. They don't have to worry about the downriggers. I give them a little assortment of different size leads, and everybody's been really happy with it. One other thing that I did, instead of tying directly to your flasher, this is 80-pound mono. You don't have to have 80-pound mono, but I run mostly 60s. But I changed the color, and this was 80 because a lot of my clients they're having so much fun, or they're so excited that they have a hard time distinguishing where their line's going and where the other lines are. So they just lock up and just crank like crazy, and the fish runs into another line, gets it tangled up. I can decipher in a big ball of mess of woven up monofilament which one is which. I know my main line, I run Maximum Chameleon. This is 30-pound. Then on my front, I run, this is a Berkeley or a Trilene 80-pound, but it's blue. And it's not really the line that I'm worried about, it's the color. And then on this one, since I have a whole assortment of different flashers in there, and some days, yeah, you know, your go-to pattern just doesn't working. So I pull out the mega box of flashers and I start going through different colors. And what I rigged here was a scissor clip on a swivel so I can change out to another flasher in a hurry, not having to retie, not having to cut anything. Plus it makes it nice for tangles. So when the clients get it all tangled up, it's an easy fix. When I'm running even hooded herring behind a flasher or a hoochie, I run nothing less than 60-pound. It's kind of like the chum bug scenario. If you guys watch that video, you want enough stiffness to your leader that it causes action in your bait. If it's too loose, you'll want to roll it. It just doesn't move enough. When this thing's rolling over with a stiffer leader, this thing really has got some action, and the fish have to swipe at it hard, and they hit it hard, and they're hooked more often. If it's just sitting back there, sometimes they'll come up and mouth it, and they barely get hooked because they fill the hooks. If they've got to chase it, they're going to hit it a lot harder and get hooked up more. So with all that said, I hope this helps you out on judging speed. But if you can look over here to this rod, I got it kind of hooked up. When your flashers are running, you're going to see a nice steady rhythm. And if you've watched any of my salmon videos, you're going to see a nice pulse to your rod. Okay. And so that's what you're looking for, and that's how you gauge your speed.
Okay.
And everybody's like, well, you troll 2.1 knots or you troll 1.5. I'm like, I don't pay attention to that. I pay attention to the flat lines. And they tell me everything I need to know.
Okay.
If you get it super fast and you're not fishing coho, then you need to adjust your speed. If it starts doing this every once in a while and then a good thump, it's just going to be a nice slow rhythm, and then every once in a while it gives you a little shake. That's the speed you want to be going for chum, okay? And it's just, you're just going to see a nice slow rhythm, and every once in a while that means it's not turning over. The flasher's not completely rolling. But when it has a nice, good rhythm, then you know your gear's rolling over. For kings and silvers, but the chum like it a little slower. Every once in a while they like that shakiness. That flasher's just turning side for side, and then it gets a roll every once in a while. But I hope this video helps you guys. I hope it makes you more successful. Catch more fish, put more fish in the freezer for your friends and family. But know where your meat comes from. Enjoy the outdoors and family. Please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Throw me a comment. If you've got different ideas, I'm always glad to hear them. I've learned a lot from my family and my friends fishing, and I still try to learn stuff every day. So don't claim to be the best fisherman out here. I just enjoy doing it, and I've been kind of successful at doing it. So enjoy the outdoors.